Oh, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to open our ears to what our wallet is telling us sometimes. It's time for Faith and Finance, Dave.
Yeah, it's time for Drew Blazsik. And Drew, I want to start with this. Is it worth me taking my silver fillings out? That's just what I want to know. Like right up front, I've got some credit card. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we could take it down and melt it.
Yeah.
We could put your face on it. I think that could work.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Drew.
Hey, good morning. It's been a while. I think, a lot of crazy things have happened, I think, since then. But I hope you guys had a great Christmas.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
And New Year's.
fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So if anybody gets a chance, I published an article in Crisis Magaine.
Oh, wow.
And
Really?
It's talking about we talked about it here before, about the 50-year mortgage. And I did a lot more math behind it. You can see the graph. And I did two things. It fails the financial test, and I hope if that comes up, people don't get tricked in thinking that I can get more property for a cheaper rate. The main thing is the short-term goal is to minimize payments, and that's what people try to do. But the long-term goal is to pay less interest, so you could have more, like Ruram Navaram talks about, have more personal property you can give to your children. And if you think about it, you do a 50-year mortgage, you're going to pass on debt to your kids.
Yeah, right.
Well,
More than likely, unless you live a long time. If you buy that house when you're 30, you're going to have it paid off when you're 80. So.
Well, and then, of course, they're encouraging you once you get a little bit of equity. Now they're after you to get a second mortgage, to do this, to do that. So, my goodness, can you imagine debt upon debt?
Debt upon debt. And you know why they're doing that is because if you think about it, housing is unaffordable now. So they're trying to think of, you know what, why don't you take on, and when you look at the math, if you look what I did in that, and I explain it, you're paying about $400,000 more on interest. If you did a $400,000 loan to a 50 from a 30, $400,000 for a savings. Now it really depends on the interest rate. You're going to save about $100 a month for $400,000
to pay an extra $400,000.
But you know why they're doing that is because prices have gone up, and they're thinking, how do you do prices? And that's part of the segment I kind of want to talk about. That prices aren't going to go back down. That's kind of in politics. I always talk about, we got to bring down prices. You're not going to see deflation unless you have an economic collapse. It's the new normal. If you think about how prices work, prices go up, companies receive more money, and then they have to pay higher wages for those people that work for that company. They can't just drop prices. That's not a easy thing to do. There some things can drop, but that's an unrealistic thing to happen. So they're coming up with these different usurious solutions.
Yeah, well, that's
you think
depressing.
that's true in the housing market as well, Drew? You think there's not going to be a correction in the housing market? You think that's going to stay as it is?
Well, if you the way I think if you get prices go down, you're going to have to stop foreign countries purchasing property here, and you're going to have to stop financial institutions like BlackRock to invest in homes. They're buying all the homes up in certain areas. It could. You could see a correction, but what's crazy about the housing market, and again, this is my guess on it. I don't think it's going to drop. Is because, remember, we had the largest increase in interest rates we've seen in a short period of time recently in the last few years, and the price of homes didn't go down. So you had that massive increase in interest rates would cause price of homes to go up by, like my house would have cost almost about $800,000 more on the interest rate per month, and the price of homes didn't go down, which tells me the demand is very strong for houses, and I don't see it necessarily happen. It doesn't mean it won't happen. I've been wrong on a lot of things, but but
Makes sense, though.
yeah. Another thing in the news, I don't know if you guys saw, there's a lot of fraud going on.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But, that kind of ties in the whole debt thing, because I looked at the debt clock. If you get a chance, type in debt clock, and you'll see that cool little number thing that constantly going up. And I think we're at $38.5 trillion. We're going to get to $40 trillion very quickly, I think, by next year.
Wow.
On debt. And the Trump administration has froze right now about $10 billion in federal grant funds that is tied to child and family assistance programs, but it's really to Democratic states in California, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, and New York. And that Minnesota fraud case that we saw, what's going on, that kind of tipped it over. And they said that's even larger in California.
Yeah.
What the news was presenting. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, and you're seeing that really everywhere, even here in the state of Ohio, where you see some of that, and it's just amazing.
I think that's the problem when you have a massive central government that provides all these things. It's hard to, we probably can correct some of the fraud, but there's so much fraud when it comes to our debt that we're spending so much. If you look at the national debt clock, it's over $1 trillion in deficit this year.
Yeah, our issue is this, I think, and it's just my personal opinion, but everybody talks about draining the swamp. Well, draining the swamp is a lot like draining the bathtub, and the people you're asking to drain the bathtub are the ones who are in it.
Yeah,
and they're like, no, I don't want to drain it. I'm sitting here, and that's not going to be a comfortable position. At least most of the people trying to uncover this fraud, those voting to move things forward, are the ones who are involved in it themselves.
Yeah, I think you're onto something 100%, is that let's say you watch the news and you see something that the government may be involved in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden all these weird things happen that we're not getting to the bottom of it because you can't ask the people who are involved with it to actually correct the problem. That kind of goes into the Catholic principle of subsidiarity. That's the only way to correct it, is to have the most local authorities to control things for our local government, because then we are in control of it. But when you have this massive central federal government, it's almost impossible to get that under wraps.
Man, I wish I could think of a story that's current to our times where that's obviously been the case. Epstein, but I can't think of anything. Epstein. I can't think of a single story where there's obvious evidence, but it isn't coming to light because the people involved in it are the ones charged of bringing it to light. Epstein, but I can't think of a single story.
I can't either. The Epstein thing is this. That's
oh, there's one. There's one right there. Think, yeah.
But that's pretty crazy how when you see people talk about it, what they said before, say they came into office, now after, and it like totally changed of what they're saying about the investigation and what happened. But that just shows if there's powerful people involved with your government and it's centralized, and us, the voters, have no control over that. Think about it. Someone in Idaho has no control over, they could vote some people in, but central government. That's why, again, the Catholic principle of subsidiarity is so important, that if you put it more in local hands, you'll get more control over things.
And there isn't really anything in Catholic teaching that, if not employed, would fail. It's always right. It's there for the looking and taking.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially with the Catholic principles of economics. I think that's the way to go, especially with Rare Novarum. That's and Heinrich, like I mentioned this before, Heinrich Pesch. He is. Some other good news. If you guys. I was very excited about this. I think I mentioned about the monetary system, which has gotten some steam. And I'm not saying it will happen in our lifetime, but it's called the Chicago Plan. I talked about that with you guys?
No.
No.
So there's an architect behind it. Not the architect, I take that back. He did the research in 2012. His name is Michael Kumhoff. And he worked for the IMF. He worked for the Bank of England. So this is kind of cool. I contacted him. A couple weeks ago. I was sending out some emails. I wanted to interview people. I was like, I'm going to give it a shot because I love the Chicago Plan, and he's done. And you want to look it up. He's done so much research on it. And then he contacted me back right away, and he said there's some things he's going to take care of, but he's going to let me interview him in April. So I'm ecstatic about that.
I love it when they make the movie about his life. You'll be in it. Who will play you? Brad Pitt, I think. It's got to be Pitt. I think it's got to be Pitt.
Yeah, let us know when that interview is complete. We've got to figure out how to share that with our listeners.
That'll be awesome, yeah. So he said he's done in April 10th to do something, and then anytime after that.
Awesome.
Yeah, where all of these things are concerned, it goes back to one of my favorite philosophizers, Billy Joel. Honesty is such a lonely word. And Pat Cody Murray, I didn't even sing it. I just said it. I didn't even sing it.
He's such a big shot. Drew Blazsik, thank you so much. Again, wonderful insights, and I feel better about my money now.
Sounds good.
I feel better about not having any. I don't have to worry about it.
That's right.